Alright guys, Joebizz34 back with another Toho X-Plus figure review, and obviously not of this guy. This is a very impromptu, very spontaneous review as I was filming yet another X-Plus review that I'm going to post on YouTube on my channel. Something showed up in the mail and it relates to this guy. This is obviously the original 30cm 62 Godzilla that's been out for a few years, but then this showed up. Woohoo! And I was originally going to pass on this, so I'm going to be doing an unboxing vid here too, along with a review. I was going to pass up on this guy, but I started to see people have this, and this is the Ric Boy from the Favorite Sculptors line, the new 62, new and improved. He's a little smaller, I heard, than the original, so we're going to do a comparison. That's why I brought this bad boy up. And I want to shout out to Jim for hooking me up, local dealer in New Jersey. He's not too far from me. And he said he could still get me one. Jim Serenella, thank you very much. So he basically still was able to pre-order one for me and have it shipped right to my house from Japan. So here it is. So I'm going to unbox it. I'm going to put the tail on and I'm going to light it up because this is the Ric Boy. So we'll see how the fins look and see if it's as cool as it looked in pictures from others. Be right back. Okay guys, so here he is out in all his glory. Favorite Sculptors Line series, brand new, straight from Japan, 1962, 30cm Godzilla from King Kong vs. Godzilla. And this is the Ric Boy special edition, so it comes with the battery pack that plugs into the back of his leg that you can disconnect and hide it with this little piece that comes off his leg, so it blends in when you're not using this, which is great. Comes with a little stand for the tail, but the sculpt itself is fantastic. I mean, you can argue, the paintwork is great. You know, some people nitpick that he's a little smaller. I don't really mind too much about that, but here's a comparison to the old figure. I'm going to zoom this out for a sec, just so, there you go, so wider so you can see. I'm standing next to each other, so you can see there's an obvious difference in size. But you know what? I still am a fan of this one too. And like I said, originally I wasn't even going to get this one because I'm still happy with him. And I think, he still holds up. I mean, the paintwork is still good. Slightly different, darker green, more of a grayish green than this one. I would think, paintwork and the sculpt and everything, this is a little more superior, a little more detailed. The fins are a little accurate. I know these fins were considered a little over exaggerated, I guess, a bit, even though some people still are a fan, and it doesn't bother me either. So overall, I think if you're a big collector with X-Plus and you're kind of torn, get both if you can afford it and if you have the space, because ultimately they are two different looks. I mean, you could say that they represent two different versions from the film. His head's a little differently shaped, and the mouth is closed on this one, where this one, the head's a little more rounded off on the top here than this. See? And his mouth is open, and like I said, he's a different shade, so you could pretend it's a different moment in the film where the lighting is a little different or what have you. Whatever floats your boat or makes you feel justified in owning both. So, and here's the fins. I'm going to turn it on. Light up fins, very prominent. I mean, meaning that even in daylight you could tell. Some of these you don't notice as much until you do it in the dark. But see, off, on. So very nice, and I've seen it in darker lighting where it really shines. So in the vid you can't tell quite as much, and I am filming during the day, so it's not as easy to see. But when you see the difference when I turn it on and off, see, you could definitely see that it's noticeable even in daylight. So I will say that overall this is a great figure. I'm very happy to get him, especially the Ric Boy that I have a chance, because I figure if you're going to double dip, even or if you're going to go for it in the first place, it's cool to try to maybe get the more, special version if possible. But whether you have the Ric Boy or the standard with these, they look great. Shout out to Rich Iso. I know he always does his reviews and talks about fresh vinyl, and this smelled beautiful, even though it's probably toxic and damaging to your insides to sniff it in. You always can tell the difference with that when it comes straight from Japan, like the Japanese versions. The vinyl smell that comes, especially out of where you put the tail in, that's coming from the inside. God, it has like that new car smell that is addicting. Again, it's probably poisonous in the long run. But I noticed when you get like the diamond, like this was a diamond reissue. This wasn't the original 62 when I got this one. The diamond reissues, I noticed when they come out of the box, they don't have that vinyl smell like the Japanese versions do. So I wonder if the diamond reissue ones do something a little different, or maybe do something, maybe they air it out, or they're less toxic. I don't know, with the way they release them here. I have no idea, because it's probably safer, but I do enjoy getting them straight from Japan and having that smell. This sign is beautiful, and it's a great, like, special addition to the set. So my quick unboxing and review of the new Favorite Sculptors line, and it says it right on the thing here, Favorite Sculptors Line, 30 centimeter, 1962. Toho, yes, X-Plus, doing their thing. The box, the artwork on the box is great, as usual. It's definitely a collector's item, and there's the yellow sticker indicating the special Ric Boy version, which is great. But again, you know, I can't imagine you being unhappy overall, especially if you don't have a 62 yet. Go get this guy. And here's another little preview, a little shout out to Beta Matali and his Roto Kaiju line of models. He's making his own model kits of some of the ones that we don't really have a license for yet, I guess, in the X-Plus world. So I'm working on putting together the 62 Kong that will go beautifully either with this guy. So it's going to be fun. I'm working on using the green putty to kind of seal up the seams. I'm going to paint him and put his mouth in and all that. And everybody who's into this hobby knows of this. And this comes with its own box. And a big shout out to Beta Matali, who I know very well from the 1/6 figure world. He does a lot of cool horror figures, so check him out if you're, you know, not familiar with that side of the fence. But in this world, he's a big monster movie fan as well, and he loves the old Godzilla stuff and the Japanese monster movies in general. So he's doing that. So as you could see, this will line up great. So I figured having both 62s, I can have one kind of display on his own, and then this is pretty much made to scale with this 62 Godzilla, because this is what he went off of. This didn't even exist yet, I think, when he was working on this kit. So this will go great lined up with this one once I'm finished with him, and I'll show him in a future review, a future vid once he's finished. But I guess in theory, even though maybe this one's slightly smaller, so he might be a little too big, a little tall for this one, but it works ultimately. So I mean, if you have this Godzilla and you have a Kong model kit, or even one similar, whether it's an older one like a Billigan one, or this one, or something else that's custom, you know, it still goes, it still works, you know, and it still will look great. So I think, and like I said, in my case, since I have both, I'm going to go with this one with his mouth open, kind of like in a fighting pose, to be displayed with him, and then this will be an offshoot kind of on his own, representing when he's like not fighting Godzilla in the film. And I think that's the best way to kind of play it. So once again, 62 Favorite Sculptor Lines, 30 centimeter Godzilla, fresh vinyl. Shout out to Rich Iso and his tagline. I watch his reviews and vids all the time, along with many others, and he kind of motivated me in the beginning to get some of these and to do my own reviews, seeing his reviews. And shout out again to Jim. Thank you for hooking me up with this. He's a great guy to deal with, and he's local here in Jersey. He's part of the group, and he's on Facebook. He's in the Godzilla group as well. So you can reach out to him if you want to hook up, especially to the Ric Boy stuff. He specializes in getting Ric Boys. So I'm going to be getting a Jet Jaguar and a Shin Godzilla 30 centimeter Ric Boy from him as well. That will be coming soon, that I mentioned in my Sanda versus Gara vid that pretty much was posted right before this one. Okay, I'll be back with more stuff, and see you guys soon. Until then, Joebizz34, peace out.